Commence primary ignition.
For Thursday, January 7th, 2021. It's the Serenno Squadcast, the official podcast of the Serenno Squad.
Presenting the king of cartoons.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Squadcast. We are back. This is the first episode of 2021. It was a crazy year, 2020, but we got through it. So,
Yeah, nothing extraordinary has happened this year at all. Nothing.
yeah, 2021 has started off pretty hot too, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We are recording on the 7th, actually, on Thursday for the first time. Actually recording on the day we're releasing. Wish me luck on that one. But
it's like almost 9 p.m.
yeah, it's gonna.
Hey, if it's up before midnight, it stays true.
Everyone's just gonna be like, "Oh man, I must have missed it yesterday."
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, it's good to be back. How's everybody doing? Everybody hanging in there? I see, Evan, you still got the tree up.
Yep, just not for long, just for a mere few days. I think it's coming down this weekend.
Nice. How about you, Paul? How you doing?
I'm good. Can't complain. Nobody would want to hear it anyway. So
yeah, we might get into it later. But Wayne, how are you doing, man? You just had a procedure yesterday.
Yeah, got my other eye worked on. What a drag it is getting old.
Well, you're two steps closer to being a cyborg, right?
Exactly. I asked them about getting a pistol in my thigh, and they didn't want to hear about it. They were like, "We just do eyes here."
So did you opt for laser eyes, or do you have like the things like Jordy has?
No, I like Predator vision.
Oh,
I can switch over to that.
Oh, okay.
is anything like Blade Runner?
Well, you'll know that's one of the drawbacks. Like I have it, but I have to go use it, so it's a trade-off.
Yeah, it's definitely a trade-off, but sounds like a good one. I'm glad to hear that you're doing better, buddy, or doing good. I don't think you were ever doing bad. So
You never met me.
yeah, I would never know. But doing great here with the baby. Everything's going swell. Had a wonderful holiday. Did anybody get any awesome gifts that you just can't wait to show off? Oh, wow. Evan is showing us a not Star Wars, but Star Trek.
Star Wars fans, this is my favorite gift that I got for Christmas. It's the Eagle Moss USS Discovery extra large version. It's like a 10 or 11 inch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, and also this shirt that I'm wearing, I also got it for Christmas, but it's actually really uncomfortable. It's made of like crappy fleece. Yeah. So it's like itchy, and it's kind of like too short on the, like all of my shirts are too short here, but it looks cool, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's what is that? That's the
Science.
What's that now?
Yep.
Science
officer.
Science
I mean, you
officer.
could say it's Spock, but it would be what's this, lieutenant, right, Paul?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't know these ranks very well.
Jen would know the answer to that because she did some bookmarks that all had the Star Trek ranks on them. So she had to know what all the ranks were at one point.
I think it's similar where I think it's one, and then I think it's like 1, 2, 3, just like the pips where it's like ensign, lieutenant, commander, and you have like dotted ones.
Yes,
but I don't know if you get a full 4 for captain or if it's something else.
I think it's something else.
Right.
You know what I think it is? I think it's like a line and then a dotted line and then another line. It's like a smaller line. I don't know. It's weird.
Is it Morse code?
I'm gonna cut this out.
Yes.
Right?
All right. Well, enough of the
Enough.
Star Trek nonsense. We do have some Legion news.
We do?
Oh yeah, we're gonna
Well, approved. Legion news. Yes, this week we do have a approval. So
Yeah.
let me
Oh yeah, I
share.
think I think I posted one like the day after we podcasted last time.
Yep, it was the last one of the year. But
And I have yet to see one for this year.
there we go. Congratulations, IC and also TI 72178. Now, this was a double approval?
Yeah, it's pretty common for the Thai reserves and the Imperial crewmen because I think all the parts are the same. It's just what changes between the two? Like gloves, maybe?
I think Imperial crewmen do not have to wear gloves. I think that's the only difference.
Yeah.
Oh, and they may or may not need a compad.
Oh yeah.
It's the gloves and the compad. I think if you take those off your crewman, if you put them on your reserve TIE pilot.
Nice. Well, it's that's one of the best ones to start off with. That's what I started with. So
that is definitely the cheapest way to get in.
Yeah.
Yep. Cheapest and probably most comfortable. Honestly, it's great for like a nice warm troop or a con where you don't want to be in bulky armor with a bunch of people around for long periods of time.
Yeah.
The times I've worn it at events, it was weird because I'm like, oh, you can see my face again.
Yeah, so congratulations. That looks great.
Yeah, wearing costumes without a helmet is weird. Like especially the first time you do it. Like when I wore Krennic for the first time, I remember it was one of the Red Sox games, and I remember thinking about how bright the sun was, and I felt like I was squinting the whole time because normally we have these like dark welding visors so you can't see in, and so I'm just standing there like scowling but also squinting. I'm like, I'm like I'm looking like an idiot.
Maybe Krennic wouldn't be so grumpy if he went to the eye doctor.
That's true.
But then, of course, Tarkin did try to give him laser eye treatment.
That's true, with a very big laser. Yeah.
Nice. So other than our approval, I don't guess there is much 501st Legion news other than
even during a normal year, this would be a very dead time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it count that does it count as Legion news that I sold Heather's Bo-Katan kit?
Sure, we can.
I posted it on the forums, so
we need anything.
technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's sold. News. It's gone.
Oh, it's sold. Sold.
Yep, it's gone.
Nice. That's easy. Cool. They haggle you?
No, actually. Actually, he was like, "How much do I owe you for shipping?" And I was like, "Actually, I was throwing shipping in, so I could have like been like, oh, it's $50 or whatever, but like I put it in the post, so I'm not gonna I thought about like I could go back in and like edit it and being like shipping extra, but I was like, nah,
too much.
I gotta be silly. And plus, it's about exactly what I bought it for originally, and it's got a little bit of wear and tear on it. So
as long as it's not international, then I wouldn't.
It was
international gets expensive.
It was like $42 because it was a huge box, and I bubble wrapped every single piece.
All right. Well, I guess if that's it for the Legion news, we can just move on to our next our segment here. Top story.
Excuse me, that's the wrong franchise.
I think I don't care.
All right. So the beginning of the year started off with actual Star Wars news.
Quite a bit of it, actually, from what I understand.
Mostly news of the High Republic.
Yes.
Have any of us actually read it?
Not yet.
No.
It's going to be the next book I pick up.
No. But saw the premiere.
I want to hear some reviews on it. Like I'm gonna read it, but I just don't have the attention span to read books these days. So I'm like, if it's really, really good, I'll pick it up now. But if it's just so, I'll listen to it on audiobook in like 6 months.
I've heard every review that I've heard about it, just been things in passing. I haven't read any like detailed reviews, but they've all been glowing. People are saying very good things.
Was it who wrote the book?
The first book is, I believe, it's written by Charles Soule.
Yeah, I thought it was
He's
Charles Soule.
primarily been a comic book writer. He wrote the previous Darth Vader comic, and was he writing the current Star Wars comic? I can't remember. Yeah, but at least when it comes to comic books, he's a very good writer. I haven't read any of his prose.
I read his Vader comics, and they were absolutely incredible. Like he has such a great mind for it's not just your typical Star Wars characters, going in and smashing and slashing and whatever. I mean, it's like really like the way that he got into depth with Vader and like the tragedies in his past and them coming back up through the comic book series. It was just, it's incredible.
Yeah, I'm excited for the High Republic comic book series. I think that's probably the only thing I will look into the audiobooks as well, because I do like that, but it's so hard, like you, Evan, it's hard for me to find time. I can hardly even listen to podcasts at work anymore. I have to just listen to music because I can't pay attention. But a comic book, I'm reading The Bounty Hunter, and I haven't read Darth Vader yet because I haven't got issue 1. I think I'm just going to go online and start that. But they're short and they're, digestible, and I love artwork. So I'm excited for the comic book series, I think, more than anything. But all of these different like media will probably have their own kind of from the way they describe it, like their own story going on. They're not all going to be maybe not the same exact story, chronologically through all the different medias, but more or less like the comic book will follow one certain story, all in the same time of what they're describing this as the great disaster, the event that happens.
Something happens. From what I've pieced together, I think something happens to do with like hyperspace travel stops working, at least in this one area. I don't know if it's everywhere, but it's in this one area at least.
Yeah,
so it's called the burn, right?
So if you were to describe how this series is going to start, Paul, how would you?
Who hasn't read the book?
No, but did any of you guys watch the premiere or listen to anything that they said?
I didn't watch the live stream. I read the highlights article.
Okay.
Yeah, I read the highlights and I watched the trailer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I did watch it, and I was at work, so it was hard to keep up with all of it. But it, they had different people that were writing different parts of the story, tell about their experience and how they kind of felt about the whole thing. And they're talking about this great disaster that happens, and everyone is traveling. A lot of people are traveling to this beacon, which is like a giant,
like a space station.
Yeah, space station to help basically get signals out further, because signals in space can't go but so far. And they're saying that this beacon helps to push information and stuff even further into space and stuff. And there are different stories of them leading to it. Maybe stories of them when they're getting there. I probably should have paid attention more, when I was watching. But that's kind of the gist that I got out of it. And we're going to get a bunch of different characters and kind of teams of characters doing different things, running around. And exploring different stuff in the Star Wars universe.
From what it seems kind of like the Marvel movies in that there is a larger overarching story, but each piece is kind of its own standalone story.
That's a good
You'll
analogy.
have characters interconnecting, but I don't think you necessarily need to read every single book to keep up with everything. Like if you just read the regular novels, you'll still get a complete story.
But it should be completely like a really great story.
Yeah. So everyone seems to say it's starting out good. So.
Wayne, what do you think, man? Have you heard anything about it, or are you just kind of waiting to hear more?
Yeah, I'm gonna need to hear more because I just nothing about it right now is really drawing me in. It's like that's what I want.
I think I don't know. Like me, it's more of a. I feel like I need to know every. I don't need to know everything, but I want to know every side of it, and keep up with it. But it also seems like a lot, especially when I'm getting into the comics and stuff like that. That's not necessarily as mainstream, and most people don't really know these small side stories. They're just what you see in the original trilogy and the sequels and prequels. But
Honestly, when it comes down to comics, I personally prefer a complete like a complete set. So I want to read a graphic novel, or I want to read, if it was like a comic book set, I want to read like the whole anthology of everything. Like the Vader comics, I didn't read each one. I waited till they were done, and then I got like each volume. I think there were 4 volumes, and I just read all those. I would rather do that than read like each week.
when did you get all that? When was it completed, the Vader?
Like a year ago, maybe. No, probably more actually, because
Yeah,
we lost a year of our lives. So
it's been a while. It's been a year and a half because
Wow.
the Vader comic is on issue 8, issue 9, and then there was the several month gap. So yeah, it's been a year at least.
Gotcha. Cool. Maybe I should just do that. I don't know. That's a good idea.
The only issue that I can think of with the High Republic stuff is they keep saying like in the far flung past, it's 200 years before the movies basically. And I don't know if this is still the Legends part of my brain that got obsessed with Knights of the Old Republic, where it was 4,000 years, but 200 years doesn't seem like a whole lot.
it's not even a whole lot in real life. Like I would never consider like the Wild West the far flung past.
And it's like somebody pointed out, they're like, "You mean like when Chewbacca was born and Yoda and Yoda's in
That's
this?"
the thing. And that's what bugs me the most, I think, is the fact that they set it then so that they could have Yoda in it. So you'd have that familiar face, and
Mhm.
you could do Chewbacca, and then you'll find out. I guarantee you, at some point, you're going to find out somebody's older than you thought they were. And, oh, there they are. Here's a recognizable face for me.
Yeah, I can
But
see that.
apparently, the show they announced, the Acolyte, ties into the High Republic. It comes in, I think, towards the end of this era.
Cool. That's live action.
Yes, that's one of the
Yeah.
Disney Plus shows.
That'll be cool. I'd like to see that in live action.
I'll love to see that style. Yes.
So
That sounds good. But yeah, that is kind of it. I understand.
I'm not going to lie. When they first announced it, and they were like, it's like Knights of the Round Table, but for Star Wars. I was like, I'm out.
Oh, come on.
but
that's
it's not going away anytime soon. There's
I know they're
a lot
pushing it.
more that, even in addition to everything they've announced, there's like 3 more phases of it.
I'm hoping it's cool. I really am, but I just don't see me getting into like the books right now. And to know that to get the full story, I'm going to have to buy like children's books, young adult books, regular books, comic books. It just seems like a
Coloring
money
books.
pit, like a
Well,
huge
I
money
don't-
pit for Star Wars that I'm already in that.
So I don't know how much you have to read every single piece. Like if you just read one portion, I still believe you're going to get an entire story.
I feel like it's gonna be kind of like having Rebels and what is it? Resistance? Is that the other one?
Yeah.
I don't feel like you necessarily need to go see those, but I do feel like that is an avenue for younger audiences. So
Well, yeah, I mean, if you use that logic, you don't need the Clone Wars.
no, but Clone Wars,
You
yeah,
don't need,
Clone
you
Wars
need Rogue
rides the
One.
line.
Star Wars is its own set aside story. You can enjoy it on its own.
Right.
But I know those are there, and I know that I enjoy them.
Yeah. Clone Wars was definitely originally a kid's show, but I think now after the last season, it like really rides along the line of being really. I mean, it's close. I mean, Star Wars itself, it was what? PG? Doesn't need to be PG-13. Doesn't need to be crazy. It can still be kid related, or
Well, 3 does.
Hopeful.
3 needs to be PG-13.
Yeah.
Well,
But
all
yeah,
of Star Wars is a kids movie, so
that's so I can see how people could, expect something else, especially now. But then again, we're getting a lot of as close as you can get to what people rumored and have been rumoring for years is like a rated R Star Wars, Yeah, I don't see why you need to do that. Like, what do you want? Nudity? Is that all it is? I think so. And
there's already nudity in Star Wars.
yeah, exactly. Just
have you ever
look at
seen,
Jabba.
Or Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
That Twi'lek.
Yeah.
There's nipples in Jabba's palace.
That's true. That's true. Doesn't Ula wear like a very, very you know what,
when she's falling into the pit, her top comes open.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
hear that, kids? Get your VCRs out and start rewinding.
I can see where Star Wars would be viewed as a kids film. I view it more as a family film because it's more than just for kids.
Yeah,
like
family. That's
adults
it.
can get into it. Kids, like anybody.
That is a much better term, family, for sure. You nailed it right there. I agree. But I do, like I was gonna say, I do see how people could be a little bit disappointed and why they couldn't have taken it further and maybe not kind of, it's not that they're telling the same story, but they're using the same characters, But I heard that we are getting some new exciting characters. One of them is a Jedi named Buckets of Blood.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird characters that got announced.
That might be the weirdest. Buckets of Blood. This is an actual Jedi Master's name. And the guy who wrote that whole, I guess, arc of this series, he explains that he took that from his personal career working in ambulances, and how there was a guy who would announce himself as Buckets of Blood over the intercom, and he'd say, "Buckets of Blood is on the way." And it was like this weird legend of who this guy was, and somehow this guy got that into the Star Wars universe as a Jedi Master named Buckets of Blood.
I think I missed this part of the.
I had to like listen and be like, okay, is someone gonna say, "Just kidding, that's a joke"? No, there was none of that, and I'm just as shocked as anyone. But I thought that was an interesting character name. There's some other names too that were kind of funky. You can tell it might be a one of the characters that the kids series will have. Funny names. I don't remember that one, but I do remember Buckets of Blood. So we got that to look forward to.
Can't wait.
Any other High Republic news that you feel is worthy of mention? Other than it's out. The first book is out. And also,
I think the first 2 are out.
First 2 books are out. Okay.
I think the first 2.
You can buy.
One of them's like a chapter book, right, or kid's book.
I think it's technically middle grade, so I don't know. That means something to somebody somewhere.
Where's our fact checker?
Well,
I closed my laptop when we started the call, so
I was gonna go on the Star Wars wiki, but then I'm worried that I'm gonna see a spoiler if I look up High Republic.
Just don't read the description.
That's what we're here for. We're here to spoil it
to
the people.
All right, let's see. High Republic books.
The typewriter you got there? It's kind of a loud.
It's a mechanical keyboard because I'm cooler than you guys. It is.
Steam-powered and leather trim.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does glow green actually, so that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. let's see. So you have The Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. You also have A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland, which is, let's see. And then The Great Jedi Rescue by Cavan Scott.
Oh.
But it doesn't say, like, if one... I mean, The Test of Courage definitely, like, it looks like Star Wars Rebels type animation, like kid type animation. So that looks like a kid's book, maybe.
Right.
Let me see. Oh yeah, here it is on the Disney website. Let's see if they have like a category for it. 8 to 12.
Oh, that's just right up our alley.
Okay, so chapter book sounds right. Sure, let's go with it.
Very cool. Thank you, fact checker Evan.
Yes,
For fact checking.
you're welcome. Here, you want me to fact check something else?
Do you think maybe you could mute your computer when you do that?
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me mute it. Is it muted?
Yeah. How did you do
Yeah,
that?
the people listening through earbuds really thank you for that.
All right. Well, I reckon that's it for the High Republic release, but that's not the only top story that we have this week, folks. If you are a Disney Plus subscriber, you probably have seen the newest episode. It's not going to be a series of episodes, I do not think, but The Mandalorian Season 2.
Oh, the Disney Gallery?
Yes. That's the one. Have you guys had a chance to watch it?
Yeah. I watched that.
No,
No.
I thought it was really good.
I didn't watch the last season either.
What?
The last
Evan
the
doesn't care
first
how the
season-
sausage is made.
Yeah, I like to preserve the magic.
First season was pretty good because there's a couple standouts. Dave Filoni has a "Sir, this is a Wendy's" moment, explaining how the battle in Episode 1, the duel in Episode 1, ties into Return of the Jedi and how it's all connected. He has like this 8-minute rant where he just goes off and explains how everything connects and what Star Wars is all about.
It was beautiful.
And the episode about the music is really good. Ludwig's crazy, insane steampunk setup that he has. If you're a musician, it's just like the nerdiest thing ever.
Nice. Yeah. So that was last season. So you guys did see this newest one though, right?
Yes.
Okay. What'd you think about that?
I thought it was pretty good. I wanted more.
Yeah, they extended it instead of to like what was it before? Maybe.
Well, the first season was 8 30-minute episodes. This was
Gotcha.
1 hour-long special.
Yeah. Yep. But still.
I mean, the making of didn't really change, so it's just kind of the same.
They went through each episode.
Yeah, they spent like 10 or 15 minutes on each episode.
And talking about each director.
Yeah. I liked Robert Rodriguez's bit when he's talking about the action scene. He said he had this really thin script, and he basically took like a 3-page action scene and made it like 10 minutes long.
For the introduction of Boba Fett.
He just kept stretching it out and making more happen and more and more and more.
Yeah, it seemed like he felt like he had a lot of pressure on himself. He put a lot of pressure on himself to make that, bringing Boba Fett back. And, that was probably one of the more interesting episodes that they had on there.
Yeah, there's a great bit, which is so perfectly Star Wars and perfectly Robert Rodriguez, is he talks about when they approached him, he had started compiling his own personal animatics. It was basically his kids in the backyard playing, and then like when a stunt would happen, you just see he's holding an action figure that would just fall off camera or something like that.
Yeah, like a stormtrooper.
Yeah, and I was like, that's so perfect, because if you know anything about the way he makes movies, he's very much, I keep bumping my table. He's very much like just DIY, as nitty gritty as he needs to be. and the history of Star Wars is very similar to that, because when they're making like Empire and Jedi, they basically use toys to plan out the effect shots and things like that.
Yep, brings it right back full circle.
Yes.
I loved the bit talking about his episode where they had Tamora Morrison come on, and he started to get into his how should I say this? Getting into his heritage as a Maori warrior.
Yeah.
And if you're familiar with the culture, that's the word I was looking for. They were warriors, and they would have these crazy kind of war dances to, I guess, get themselves psyched up for battles and stuff like that. And I guess while they were out there filming, he was just getting into it and started breaking into his Maori, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Maori dances, and the producers were like, dude, that looks so cool. We should incorporate some of that into your kind of like his choreography where he was fighting and stuff. And you can see that, reflection from, he, up until this point, Boba Fett was kind of just, he didn't really have that much of a backstory, but because of Tamora Morrison's performance, now we have a little bit of like culture and history and fighting stances and stuff like that kind of thrown in. I thought that was really cool. I don't know how many times they might have done that in Star Wars, where they kind of let the creativity of the actor take over the character. That was one of my favorite moments to see that.
I was disappointed they didn't mention anything about Luke. I was hoping they'd say something about the Luke scene. They didn't say anything about it.
No, they did not. That was for the last episode, obviously. One of the cool bits that I got from that was that the Dark Troopers were not all CGI. They were mostly costume. That is so freaking cool.
They were guys in suits, and then they just CGI'd like out the joints.
Yeah, so that, I feel like that should be a cosplayable costume, man. I feel like someone should it's gonna be done, but I feel like someone can come up with a clever joint system, and that would be such a good costume.
Speaking of people wearing earbuds, they appreciate it that way.
Yeah, it was really squeaky. I was trying to talk through it. I don't know if it helped. Probably didn't.
I've seen a few people like on the costuming forums. Or like on Facebook groups. They're like, "Oh man, somebody's got to start the CRL for this." I'm like, until someone can magically eliminate the skin and bone between their forearm and their bicep, you're gonna have a hard time.
Come on, man. C-3PO, he's not really his abdomen's not really all wires. It's just wires glued on a black suit.
Yeah, but it's a costume that they didn't edit. They and the Dark Troopers, they CGI'd all of because they were wearing this kind of light gray undersuit, and they CGI'd like the elbows and the knees and the neck. Like they CGI'd all that out and all the gaps between the armor. So yeah, not gonna happen.
Right. Well,
unless you're taking a hacksaw and you're just gonna cut all the meat from here to here.
Yeah.
Well, I see now why you're our officer, Evan. You're what's that position?
I'm the voice of reason.
Yeah, you're not gonna let this stuff slide.
I'm the PR officer for.
You're the PR officer. Now I see.
For like another when's this term end?
February, end of February. So you got another 7 weeks.
Are you gonna go in for re-election?
Let someone take over next year.
Oh no, you can't. You can't.
I'm ready to slink back into the sewers.
All right. Well, let us know when your last day is, and we'll get them on. And see you later, Evan.
Yeah. Well,
we only have a position for a PR officer. No.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think you are
his last day of PR officer is gonna be my last day as squad leader too. So.
Oh no, that's so sad, guys. That's so sad.
No. We're
moving
not
on.
running for the election.
Wait, it gets better.
Wayne, what do you what tell me?
I'm not going to be the armorer anymore. There's no point.
Oh. This is so depressing. This might be the most depressing moment in Serenno Squadcast history.
I won't be the official one for the garrison, but I'll still be the squad one. That's
Right.
not a problem.
Of course.
But
No.
I mean, we haven't had many, but look at how many approvals that we've had. Nobody's called me the entire year.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's needed to know anything because they all do it within each squad. Each squad's got their own, and that's who you go to. You go to who you know. You don't need a garrison armorer.
That's
It's
true.
a ceremonial position. You're like the queen.
Yeah, it's pointless.
It's true. However, Wayne, in our hearts, you are the armorer, so
Well,
you know
thank you.
you can't run away from that. But
Also, I'm sure somewhere Heather is laughing when Evan said voice of reason.
yeah, she knows too well, I'm sure. Yeah. So back to lighter things. The Star Wars Gallery episodes. If we were to go through all of them, which we don't have to, but the first episode, what did Wayne, you said you watched it, right?
What?
You watched it, right?
Watch what?
Gallery, the new
Yeah.
gallery.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I liked it. I was a little
You think-
disappointed it was just the one episode.
Right.
But
Yeah. I mean, they covered all the episodes from the season, but yeah, you're right. It was a little shorter.
yeah.
Yeah, I would go through, but I honestly cannot remember each one. But I do remember, little parts like that. I do remember the suits. I remember, yeah, I don't remember them talking about Luke, so that's kind of lame.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember any like highlights.
Yeah,
There
this
was
is
the
really.
Boba Fett stuff was a highlight.
I got one. I thought it was super interesting how the episode with the second episode with Frog Lady on the icy kind of glacier planet, not snowy ice planet Hoth, but glacier planet was what they were going for. The giant creepy spiders are not anything new. Those are original Ralph McQuarrie. Empire Strikes Back. It's
Yeah, and
supposed
they're
to
in
be
Rebels too.
okay. Cool. I did not know that.
Just not
You
the
haven't
snow
watched
version.
season 3 of Rebels.
Yeah, I did, but I just
We know better than that. He doesn't watch Star Wars.
haven't watched anything yet. When I say I
He's
do,
a Stargate fan only. He watches Stargate and Babylon 5 exclusively.
no.
With commercials about Firefly.
I've seen Stargate on Sci-Fi, and as soon as it got to commercial, I was out.
He watched season 2 of Farscape only.
No, these are all bad. Stop.
No. No. You talk
They're
about
actually
my
all
first
good, so
Okay, I
Yeah.
haven't gotten into any of it, but it could be my cup of tea, but I would say it's not.
you
But-
should watch Farscape. Farscape is like a Star Wars fever dream.
I don't even watch Star Wars. Why would I watch that?
That's true.
He's right, man.
But back to the episode though. I thought that was super cool where they got the kind of existing creature there and brought it into their own world using their own creative decision making there. Thought it'd be more appropriate to be a icy spider, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's good. There's nothing earth-shattering. I mean, the stuff with Boba Fett and Tamar Morrison was really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was so confident and so proud to be in that suit.
yeah.
His whole stance changed. He was really digging it.
I wonder how they rigged up the jetpack. That's what I want to know.
Good question. Yep, but no, it was great. Star Wars Gallery, Mandalorian Season 2. Go watch it. Because obviously we can't explain it at all.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. So that's about it for our top story this week. Not too much going on. I mean, a lot of the High Republic news, but that's just about it. We did get some news. I don't know. I don't even play this game, but I'm delivering the news for you guys. Squadrons has a cool new. I don't know if it's a limited time, but they have this High Republic lightsaber hilt that you can run around with on the game.
It's a little display piece in your, because Squadrons is the flying game. So you get little things you can decorate your
You run
cockpit.
around the sky, and yeah, that's what you do. I've seen Star Wars, so it's that sounds. I saw a picture of that. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, they put out a couple things like that. They did something around Christmas time for the Life Day celebration. You got the little Life Day orb.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get the Life Day orb and the something else.
I couldn't remember what the other part was.
Are you guys still playing?
I haven't played it in a few weeks because I've been the
Oh, I know.
holidays.
I'm the only one that plays that.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a hot minute. I played it like a couple weeks after it came out, and I haven't really touched it since.
Wayne, you're probably a pro by now.
No.
No?
No, because you can't play as a team when you're playing with randos.
Right? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, I did think about I thought about a little segment that we could do. That would be cool.
Yes.
Especially in times like this where we run out of anything to talk about. Like a day today in Star Wars history kind of thing.
Okay.
Right? So if you go to Wikipedia, this episode is sponsored by Wikipedia. You can type in like a date and this date in Star Wars history, and they will come up with a whole calendar and for the year. And you can see like today on the 7th, some interesting different facts. Like Paul Weston in 1940 was born on this day. And he was a stuntman who worked on episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And he played Nikto, Vading, character Vading. Oh, the character's name was Vading. That's right. It's a Nikto. He was on the sail bar.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
Klaatu, Barada, and Nikta.
Yeah. So today's his birthday, guys. Come on, show him some love.
Ooh.
Yep. There are other people on here that were born on this day, but I don't know any of them, and they don't really have cool stories. But we do have this thing is pretty up to date. Today, Fortnite Star Wars ends. So if you play Fortnite,
It ends?
yeah, isn't that sad?
Dang it.
I know you're a big Fortniter, huh?
Yep.
You
Huge.
play every night.
Why it's not-
Play every fortnight.
Every Fortnite. Yeah, that's funny. You're funny. Yeah, there's other cool stuff on here too. I thought that was pretty interesting. But
I
need
think
you
Paul
to
has
look
something to
up.
tell us.
I need you to stop reading and look up.
whoa, okay. There is a
My not so subtle hint.
yeah. Sorry, yeah. You gotta make some.
Ooh, I
noise.
love
Now
that
he's
sound.
squeaking.
Yeah, it's a fun sound, isn't it?
So Paul is showing off his animated Commander Rex helmet, Captain
Okay.
Rex. Sorry, he's not Commander
I'm
yet.
not doing Commander Rex because I don't want to make my armor that dirty or blow a hole in my pauldron.
There you go. Yep. You got to get it just right. So we've got Captain Rex here. It looks awesome. He's got, the phase 1. No. Phase 1? Phase 2, but it's animated. That's all.
Well,
It's like
also Rex's helmet is different than
1/2,
the-
right? Like it's like a phase 1 helmet that's been modified into a phase 2 helmet.
Yeah, Rex's helmet is modified. It's different than everyone else's.
That's the
Big
welding.
lovely gold lines all the way across it.
Right.
And Wayne's
right.
over here doing an unboxing right in front of us.
Oh, shucks. What the heck?
I forgot I got him. I got it for a pretty decent price online.
Nice.
Nice.
So is that what you're going for?
I have his boss.
My next one, yeah.
Ooh. Very cool. What is that?
Yeah,
That's
my next one will be this because I just love the way that red goes on the armor.
So those are what? Coruscant trooper? What do you?
Yeah, it's the
Red
guards.
troopers, Coruscant guards,
Guards. Yeah,
Shock troopers or Coruscant guard or whatever you want to call them.
yeah.
whatever you want to call them. But they got the red. That's important. And in Phase 2 armor, the colors and everything mean totally different things. I think Phase 1 armor, those colors had to do with actual ranks, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the Phase 2 were more or less the
It's
creativity.
everybody's personality or where they
Personality.
came from.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which that always kind of bothered me in Clone Wars. They're like, oh, the clones all decorate their own armor. Well, these 5 over here that have names, they have the unique armor. Behind them are 75 who all look identical.
Yeah, they're not as cool. Evan, you had
They're not special.
a really, really early Royal Guard. That's a Republic Royal Guard, right?
This is a Senate guard from
Senate
the
guard.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah, they
That's
kind
Rogue
of
One.
they kind of evolved the guards there and their helmets.
Yeah, they've
It's
evolved
almost
quite
like
a
it was
bit.
intentional.
This is the coolest one. I will stand by this till my dying day. This is the coolest version of all of the guards, Senate guards, Royal guards, everything. It's
Because it's the only one with the plume. You're just
Yes.
into the
And
plume.
also the helmet's open so you can breathe.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
open face helmet so everybody can see you sweating miserably.
It's like the
Oh,
closest thing you could get to a like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars matchup.
It does look very like it looks like an elven warrior or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Ooh. Oh. I like the platform.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's doing like the Captain Morgan.
Yeah, he's really perched up there.
He's really working out his quads or something. I don't know what that.
He's gonna jump off that rock.
Yeah.
Stepping over something.
It
I
looks
really want to get another clone kit just to do this paint job.
It's a cool paint job.
Yeah.
I do have a little something to show off. I think maybe last episode Baby Yoda with the frog in his mouth. That's cute. It's a bobblehead. Very good, Evan.
I've got a plush Baby Yoda over in the corner.
Did I show you guys the full-size Yoda skull last episode?
That's like more than full size. It's bigger than your head.
No, it's full size. It's full size. It is.
Now you need to do like forensics does and put the clay on it so that you can.
Yeah, I can rebuild his face. It'll probably be exactly right. You can see, it's got his head stuff like that. So I got this one. I printed this one first, and then I decided to go ahead and print another one to scale.
Yeah, this one's impressive.
Well, no, not this one.
Oh.
But I mean, it could be impressive.
Do you print them like already hinged, or do you put them together?
Nope, they're actually very simple.
That's cool.
They just have little notches there.
That's how my jaw goes together.
That's right. If you,
What are they called? Like Kowalski and spider monkeys or something?
Kawaki and monkey lizards.
Okay.
spider monkeys. That's wrong.
Kowalski.
But
How's
it's
it
so cool. These guys did such a good job with the like actual
That is
anatomy
cool.
because it looks like an actual bird's head or skull. And even in the inside, he's got like the roof of his mouth, all that stuff. So that
This
one's
is the
pretty cool.
remains of the one that was being roasted in Mandalorian.
Now this one is full size, and total it was about 5.5 days to print. Oh.
And now it's broken.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
How many rolls of filament was that?
Not even one.
What?
This is printed at only 4% infill. It is
Now, is
so
that-
so light.
is that suggested from the guy who made the model?
Yes, he printed from 5 to 7, and because it's so big, I was like, I'm gonna cut it down to 4. And I did increase the wall thickness to 3 layers instead of 2, and it makes it much more sturdy. But dude, the detail that this guy has on these things, it's incredible. Look at that.
Wow.
This is the guy's logo there.
I was gonna say that's a weird thing in his palette there.
Yeah. There's also these weird kind of square notches for actually mounting it on these little mounts things. But
Yeah. See, now
That
what
is
you need
so
to do is you need
cool.
to paint them up and weather them and mount them on your wall.
yes,
Make
that's
it
the
Yes.
next.
display. These are my skills.
I've been asking around, and I think the dry brush technique's going to work the best, just because I don't have an airbrush, and I don't want to have any. When you're 3D printing, it's like when water touches it, because it's layer after layer. Any type of liquid or fluid is going to go down into the crevices, and the raised parts are not going to have anything at all. So you're going to be able to tell that it's 3D printed even more so than now. Right now, you can't tell because it's all kind of blended. But I feel like if I go over with a dry brush and I'm going over the surface, it shouldn't go down into those cracks, creating that, the very visible lines. So yeah, I'll definitely weather them up a bit. I've got a few real skulls here in my house just because I'm a weirdo. And
I mean, there's the former neighbor. There's that guy who delivered your pizza wrong.
okay, no, you can't talk about that. We're live.
It's
Come
that
on.
dude that used to live in the basement.
There's no one in the basement.
That dude that came to my
Not
front door at
anymore.
3 a.m. yesterday.
Yeah, no. I mean, remains. But speaking of, I'm gonna do a little shout out right here, to my boy. I've got my brother-in-law, soon to be. He has his own podcast, and it's called Grim Vision, and it is
Sounds cheery.
creepy. Let me just read it off to you. If you like really creepy, weird stuff, stories that kind of put you at unease, this is a really, really good podcast. And his latest episode had to do with a guy who inherited a house, and he here we go. Grim Vision, really
Okay.
creepy. Guy inherits a house.
True life stories, or is it fiction?
No, it's all fiction. So it's out there. Some of them are really out there. Some of them are really spooky, really creepy. Like people, he has one where it's like just phone calls, not phone calls, but someone's being harassed by someone on the phone, and it ends up being a little bit more superstitious or supernatural than coincidence or whatever. And then in this most recent one, you talk about having someone locked up in a basement. Man, this guy gets he inherits a house, and when he goes to check it out, he can hear there's something down in the basement, and he has to deal with that. So if you are interested in these tales of unease, this is a Grim Vision. Check it out. It's very good. And it says this. It's hosted by the Thin Man in the Black Hat. So very, very cool. Very creepy. Look it up now. Get on your phones.
All right, hold on. I got this.
Wait till you finish this.
I need to
Then
hear.
go for it.
I need to hear the clicking, just like from Evan. But Grim Vision, you guys, check it out. It's really awesome. Really creepy. Yeah. So everybody kind of showed off their stuff. Everybody had a great year. We're all kind of sitting around watching the news. Crazy stuff's going on, as if of this past week. Yesterday, I guess specifically. But we'll get through all of this. Everyone's just staring out to the abyss. Dead air.
I refuse to talk about this week.
There we go. That's
Everything else.
Yeah, this is a Star Wars podcast.
This live retelling of Revenge of the Sith is not what I ordered.
Yeah.
It's
I would
true.
like to
It's
order
true.
this though.
You know,
Do it.
you're gonna
You
have to
should.
make that.
You very much should.
I actually looked online to see if I could, because the guy who charges $900 for this finished helmet, I'm like, there's no way that this helmet is worth $900.
Dude,
So I did some searching, and someone actually sells finished real horsehair plumes on Amazon. So I almost wonder if you could get a raw cast of the helmet, paint it up, and then glue in the horsehair. But it might not be long enough. Because I mean, you see how long these are from top to bottom. So I don't know if the horsehair that they sell on Amazon is long enough.
dude, all you need to do is I'll print you the helmet, and then you go to Target and you get you a broom, and there you go. Forget the horsehair. You just use that broom stuff, and it'll be long enough, and it'll look great.
Yeah, it'll look great. I love broom bristles.
And if you need
really
if you-
give that nice shiny look.
and if you make a mess, you can you got the broom right there.
That's true. I'll be like, hold on, guys. Let me flip my helmet over and sweep it up.
Yeah, you could have
Make sure you get the ones from the dollar store.
yeah, the ones that stand up during the solstice. You gotta have
Yeah,
them.
exclusively dollar store broom bristles.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. The good stuff. Well, if that's all we got this week, oh wow, that's a surprise. His helmet opens.
Yeah, that's how you have to put it on.
Gotcha. See, that's what I was wondering about that. Looks good though. Looks really clean.
Not for much longer.
You know?
I am proud of it.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for this week. So, better cue the music. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. It was the first episode of the year. We've got more to go. We've got everything scheduled out, so hopefully we can get to, I think we'll get to episode 50 by the end of the year, which is cool.
We'll be back together again, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be at the new studio. I'm sure Evan spends like every afternoon getting it ready.
Yep, every day. I mean, it's there's not boxes and stuff all over the couch up there. It's great. Posters aren't falling off the wall constantly.
Nice. That's good news.
All
Well-
I'll say is every time I've been to Evan's house, I've never been upstairs.
You've
It's almost
never
like
been
we weren't
upstairs?
allowed. Never.
I have.
I haven't either. I've only been like
Well, I
once,
got
though.
I got mead fermenting in the bathtub upstairs now, so you can really get a show.
Nice. All right. Well, if anybody wants to check us out, you can look us up on 501stlegion.com if you want to join. We're also on Instagram, the Garrison Tyrannus and Serenno Squadcast. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Music, or no, Apple Podcast. You can try, but maybe you'll find us. And until next time, guys, thank you all for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.